Hey everybody, this is Kari Swenson with Mountain Mermaid Wellness, and I am going to walk you through a restorative yoga practice to support your nervous system in resetting, in supporting better sleep, in helping you to find a sense of relaxation in both your body and in your mind. This practice is one of the most powerful, transformative practices that I personally have experienced in helping me to heal from Epstein-Barr virus and mono episodes, to healing injuries in my body, to helping me to release trauma and stress that has been stuck in my body from different experiences in my life. And so I'm going to walk us through, it'll be about an hour practice, and you can practice this at any time of the day when you're just needing to come back in and settle a little bit. We are in this time period right after the equinox, the spring equinox, where we are nurturing the earth element, which is a lot about returning back home to our home base, metaphorically speaking, and also we are all in our homes. And so it's a time for nurturing and self-care and self-acceptance and awareness, and supporting ourselves with practices like these so that we can stay really healthy and grounded and open-hearted as we navigate what's going on in the world today. So for your restorative practice, I'll give you some ideas for props. It's okay if you don't have any quote-unquote yoga props. We all have blankets and pillows around our house, so you have access to many different props for your body. But I'll show you, if you don't have a blanket for your head, you can use a little pillow for a head support. If you don't have a bolster, like one like this, flat bolster, round bolster, then you could take two blankets and stack them folded on top of each other to create a little bit of a setup for your spine. And again, you can use a pillow for your head so that you have some stability and support. If you have a big thick blanket, you could just use one blanket. These are fairly thin, these Mexican blankets, so they stack really nicely together. You might use blocks, and again, if you don't have blocks, you can be using additional cushions under your knees for a reclined cobbler pose. I'll get to all of this as we go through each pose, but just wanted to give you some ideas if you do have these props to get them handy. And then if you have an eye pillow, that's really nice, or just another blanket or a hoodie that you can bring over your eyes so you can support yourself in turning your gaze inward. Okay, so we're going to begin lying down on our backs. So I'd like you to take either you have two blankets or one blanket, and even grab your head and neck support. So you'll probably be using at least two blankets for this practice. You're going to come lie on your back with your knees bent, lifting your organs up toward the sky. Your feet will walk apart and your knees are going to rest together in constructive resting pose. Here you can take your blankets and drape them over your knees. You can bring your knees up to do this. Here we're just adding some weight to our femur bones to allow a settledness and groundedness in our root chakra energy center, and to allow the release of our low back. So I'd like you to close your eyes, or if your eyes are open, have a soft gaze so that your inner gaze is going inward. And begin here to take a few deep belly breaths. feeling your breath fill you all the way up on your inhale. And feel your breath empty you out on your exhale. Breathing deeply is imperative to relaxing our minds and our bodies. Breathing into our belly allows the activation of our parasympathetic nervous system, which helps to balance out and regulate our nervous system out of our stress response. So allow your breaths to lengthen, and as a way to guide us into this, I'm going to guide us in a 4-part or square breathing exercise. So as you inhale, you're going to breathe in for 4 counts. You'll pause at the top of your breath for 4 counts. And you'll exhale out through your nose or mouth for 4 counts. Then pausing at the bottom of your breath for 4 counts again. And the whole cycle begins again at your own pace. Inhaling to the count of 4, pausing at the top of your breath for the count of 4, exhaling and releasing to the count of 4, pausing at the bottom of your breath for the count of 4. If you don't quite make it to 4, it's okay, you're just going that direction. So just allow yourself time for your breath to naturally begin its expansion process. Feeling your breath move from your belly up into your bottom lungs to the top of your lungs, all in your inhale, so that you're really breathing from the bottom of your lungs to the top. Our parasympathetic nervous system is turned on when we breathe into the lower lobes of our lungs. And if you feel like you want to exhale out through your mouth, please do, and let there be an audible just releasing any stress, anxiety, worry that's stuck in your energy field. Every emotion and thought that we experience and feel and think, any stress that we feel, any traumatic experience, all of that hangs out in the hard drive of our subtle energy body, and then creates symptoms in our physical bodies when we haven't released and worked with and integrated those emotions. So allow your breath and allow this practice to release cellular stress and memory. We'll be in these poses for at least 7 minutes to fully reset the nervous system of your body. You can continue with the square breathing as long as it's really serving you and focusing your mind and your breath. And you can return back to your natural breath at any time. Feeling the muscles that run up and down your back melt into your mat a little bit deeper. Allowing the muscles of your face to release and soften. Your jaw, which is the strongest muscle in your body, which also can hold so much tension, allow it to let go and release. So even your mouth might even open. Just allow that to just really let go there. And as a mantra to guide you through your practice today, anytime you find your mind wandering, you can use this mantra. I breathe in. I breathe out. I breathe in. I breathe out. You could also use all is well. All will be well. All is well. All will be well. Or any other mantra that resonates with you in this moment, that feels true in your body, that is what you truly need to hear and to tell yourself. Enjoy 3 more deep, nourishing breaths. And then return to your natural breath. You can walk your feet in, let your knees come back right above your ankles. And then draw your knees into your chest and release your blankets off to the side. And then let's draw our knees into our chest. And gently rock side to side. Massaging your low back with your kidneys and your adrenal glands that are really sensitive to times where we're feeling off balance or feeling that fight or flight response turned on from stress. So then place your hands on your kneecaps, separate your knees apart and begin to circle your knees out together and then back in toward your chest as you move with the ebb and flow of your own breath. So we're going to do a little bit of warm up in our joints before we continue into our practice of being in poses fully supported by props. Again, to support our nervous system, which has a direct relationship to the strength of our immune system. So you can switch directions at any time. Please feel free to omit anything that doesn't feel good in your body today. Just really staying true. You could lay in Shavasana for this whole hour. You can do whatever you feel feels really good to you right now. Okay, good. Place 1 foot at a time on your mat. And we're going to flow now here in and out of flowing bridge pose just to move bring some fluidity into our shoulder joints and hips. So make sure your feet are hip distance apart and then walk your feet in toward your hips. On your inhale, your arms will reach up overhead and you'll press down into your feet and lift your hips up. Bridge pose. Exhaling, letting your arms come back to your sides and hips relax. You don't have to take your hips very far off the mat. Maybe it's only a couple inches. That's okay. So just allow your breath to be the leader of these movements. one more time with your breath. Inhale your arms overhead. Lift your hips up, bridge pose. Exhale, lower your hips and your arms back to your sides. Draw your right knee into your chest and place your hands behind your right thigh. Option to keep your left knee bent or to straighten your leg onto your mat. We're going to do a hip opening series here. So your inhale is going to move your thigh bone away from your chest, and you'll straighten your leg and point out your toes. And then you'll exhale your knee back and toward your chest. Follow your breath. Inhale, straighten your leg and point your toes. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, straighten your leg, point your toes. Exhale, knee to chest. You can go at your own pace if it's slower than how I'm guiding you. Good. One more time. Inhale, straighten your leg, point your toes. Exhale, knee to chest. Stretch your leg onto your mat. Second side, draw your left knee into your chest, hands behind your thigh. Inhale, straighten your leg, point your toes. Exhale, knee to chest. Inhale, straighten, point your toes toward the sky. Exhale, knee to chest, giving your digestive organs a little squeeze and release. Going into your hip to make this movement, really turning on that mind-body connection. One more time. Inhale, straighten your leg, point your toes. Exhale, knee to chest. Good. Place your feet back on the mat, knees bent. Roll to either side into fetal pose, relaxing your belly and heart towards the earth. Keep rolling towards the floor to bring your hands underneath you. Slowly press yourself up so your head comes up last. Okay, nice job. Let's move into our next pose, which is going to be supportive for our root chakra energy. This is the energy center of our body that connects us to our safety, our stability, our support, our tribe. It's feeling at home in our bodies and at home in our lives. And if anything has shaken that for us, then we really want to bring it back into balance by releasing any stuck energy. So I'll give you two options here. We're going to do legs up the wall pose, which I'll show you in a moment. Or you can choose, if you are on your moon cycle or you are feeling a lot of congestion, maybe you're dealing with a little spring allergies or something and you want to keep your head more propped up, then I'm going to show that first. So if you're going to do the modification, you'll bring your head pillow or your folded blanket under your head. And then you're going to place your two blocks at the other end of your mat with your bolster resting on it. If you don't have blocks, then you could put your bolster and blankets or two stacked blankets on top of each other. This is just to give a little bit of elevation to your legs so that your knees are resting against a prop. And you could also choose to just do Shavasana here as well. So this would be the modification, letting your knees and shins rest up on a prop. Or if you're going to do legs up the wall, then you'll bring your mat over to the wall and you can put a blanket, folded blanket under your hips, like so. And then you've got your blanket or head pillow for support. Maybe you've got your eye pillow nearby that you're using. And you're going to come and sit right on your blanket with one hip right next to the wall. And you're going to mindfully Make your way down onto your mat and swing your legs up to the wall so that your hips and legs are right next to the wall, resting. Your head and neck support is slid all the way to the tops of your shoulders, so the cervical spine of your neck is supported. And then you can choose to bring in your eye pillow. You could bring in a blanket over your pelvis. If you want to go higher up with your hips, you're going to slide your bolster under your hips, bringing more of that height, elevation of your hips above your heart. Either choice that you're making here is helping to really ground the energy of your root chakra, energy center, and helping to bring a little bit more stability and support. With legs up the wall, you're bringing blood flow and your lymph system. The fluids are moving down into the hormonal centers that live in your torso and in your head, really bathing and nourishing them in your own nutrients. It's very calming for our minds, therapeutic for our legs, supportive of anxiety or depression if you're working with that right now. So really allow your whole back to surrender into your mat. Opening up to grace. Opening up to the divine, the greater energy that holds all of us and that is within all of us, there to bring us peace, faith, strength, and patience to navigate whatever we're dealing with. So allow your jaw to soften, your shoulders down to your fingers, letting go. Bring your awareness to your pelvis, to your tailbone, to your legs, to your feet. All this energy of our roots, the energy of stability and support. Allow yourself to feel into a greater support system, as well as the support system within your body, within yourself, as you give yourself this practice of nourishing you. We'll be here a few minutes and then you'll hear the sound of the singing bowl, and I'll guide you out of this pose. If it feels connecting for you to have one hand on your heart and one hand on your belly, to feel more safe and supported, please do so. to slowly reawaken your fingers, your toes. If your legs are up on the wall, slowly draw your heels down the wall and draw your knees into your chest. Wrap your hands where it's easeful and just allow the fluids to start heading back down. If you're on your back and your legs have been elevated, you'll do the same thing. Draw your knees into your chest. We don't want to get up too fast from this pose so we get lightheaded. If you have a bolster under your hips, place your feet on the wall, lift your hips up and move the bolster out to your left. And then let's all lead with our heart as we roll to our right side into fetal pose and pause there for 3 cycles of our breath. And then slowly press yourself back up. Okay, our next pose is going to be Reclined Cobbler Pose. So you're going to take your bolster the long ways behind you, or your 2 folded blankets stacked on top of each other. So this would be instead of the bolster if you don't have a bolster. And you're going to set that up, and then if you have another blanket or your pillow, you can set that up at the end. In this form, we're going to come and sit in front of our prop, or in front of our blankets or bolster. We're going to give a little bit of space here for our lumbar spine to make its curve. So you want to have a little bit of space between where you're sitting and your supports. Stretch your legs out in front of you and let your feet and legs splay out. And then take a hold of one shin at a time and bring the soles of your feet together in cobbler shape. This is where your blocks coming under your knees is supportive. Again, or you stack a towel, towels, blankets, whatever you need, so that this isn't such a huge inner thigh opening right away or at all. There should be some opening, but you should be able to rest here comfortably for 7 minutes without feeling like your body's having to hold a position that it's simply not comfortable with. So allow props to come up to you in your restorative practice, so you're letting go over your props. So once you have that set up, here you'll find the bottom edge of the back of your ribs coming to your setup behind you. And if you don't need support under your knees and you're good with this hip opening, then you can omit that. Most of you probably will need some kind of support. So allow yourself to fiddle around and find that level and place of extreme comfortableness. If you have your eye pillow, you can bring that in, or your little blanket or hoodie over your eyes, and then begin to sink your back body into the supports underneath you. Feeling your breath expand again from your belly up through your lungs, and then emptying out. You can go out on an exhale through your mouth or just through your nose. Just allow your breath to be really steady and easeful. Relaxing all the muscles of your face, your ears, your tongue, your jaw, all sides of your throat. Feel your heart open as your arms are externally rotated with your palms turned up toward the sky. Feel how much more breath can travel up through your lungs and heart. If you need extra support under your head, if you're having again any sinus troubles breathing this morning, make sure your head is elevated high enough there where you can breathe with ease. And then bringing back the mantra within your mind. I breathe in. I breathe out. All is well. All will be well. Feeling yourself being held by the divine, being held by its embrace, its holding of you. However you see or feel or experience something greater than you, please just allow yourself to be open to receive the support that you need in this moment, and in every moment that you need some more support. Keep letting go in your body. hands into your fingers and toes. And place your hands on the outside of your thighs. Slowly draw your knees up and then stretch your legs out one at a time and just rest here for a few more cycles of your breath. And you're going to lead with your heart and roll to your right side off of your supports and into fetal pose, resting your head on your arm or your pillow or blanket, softening your whole front body towards the floor to reorient your organs, to give yourself time for transition, which I feel is such a strong lesson, guidance for us right now to really allow ourselves space and time during this transition. And then slowly press yourself back up. You can set your blocks or knee supports off your mat. Leave your setup that you have behind you. You may or may not need your blanket. Now we're going to come into a supported twist. So you're going to bring your right hip right next to the blanket or bolster props. Your knees are bent in a comfortable position. Some of you, your right leg can stretch all the way out. Some of you, you'll keep your knees bent. But you're going to root down through your right sitting bone and then extend your spine. And now turn your belly and chest toward your props. And you're going to lie over them now so that you can turn your head to either side and rest on the ridges of your ear. So you've now put that twist in your belly. Breathing into all sides of your belly so you feel your breath expand into your back. Option to stay here or to take a deeper twist by bringing your hands to your mat, elbows bent. Slowly press yourself up halfway. Bring your left ribs around a little bit deeper. And then again, lie over your supports. You might even be able to take your head over to the other ear and the deeper turn of the neck. And if that doesn't feel yummy to you, then you can come back and just rest on the other ear that feels most easeful for your neck. We're going to be here a couple minutes and then you'll hear a bowl chime and we'll switch to the other side. Let your body just drape over your props. Relax every muscle in your body. This is how we learn surrender and letting go, is reconditioning our tissues to have permission to let go and to relax. To remember that we're safe. We have everything we need to let go and to trust that all is well and all will be well. on your next inhalation, bring your hands back to the mat and slowly press yourself up, bringing your spine back toward your knees and allowing your blood to rush into your organs to cleanse them and purify them. And then you can just stretch your legs out in front of you and pick up your supports and move them over to your left hip. And we'll do the same thing. Re-plump and prop up your props that have gotten a little flat. And you'll come sit in your left hip, let your knees bend, or your leg closest to your bolster can stretch out. Inhale, lengthen your spine. Exhale, bring that twist of the belly toward your props. And then slowly lie over them with your head turned to whichever side that you can comfortably rest on your ear and your neck feels clear. Allowing your breaths to be full into all sides of the bowl of your belly. Allowing the muscles of your back to release and soften. You have the option to stay right here, or you can deepen the twist by slowly pressing yourself up, bringing your ribs, your right ribs around toward your props, and then slowly lower down again. Keep letting go in your body. Slowly press yourself back up, bringing your spine back toward your knees and pausing here. Twists are very regulating for our nervous system, and if you're feeling a little wound up, they just kind of simmer you back down. And if you're feeling a little depressed or low energy, they can kind of bring you back up with a little bit of zest, so they're equanimous in that way. Okay, our next pose is going to be a supported heart opener or modified fish pose. So I'm going to show you the first modification, which is going to be a folded blanket. So the long edges are together. This is where your shoulder blades are going to be. You likely won't need a head support, but if you do, you've got your little second blanket or little pillow. So you'll come in right in front and you'll find the bottom edge of your shoulder blades meet the bottom edge of the blanket. And then you're going to lift your hips up and let your shoulder blades move toward your hips as your shoulders and now head come to the other side of your blanket, and then your hips relax down to your mat. Your arms can stretch out, rotated arms out, palms up, or you can make a cactus shape, elbows bent. Your knees can stay bent, or your legs can stretch out. Some of you may even like to do the cobbler shape again. Please have your knee supports if you need that. So this would be modification, a little bit of height under your chest. You could make your blanket lower if this is still too much height. If you'd like to take it a little deeper, you can take 2 blankets folded on top of each other, or your bolster, and all of what I just said would apply. Sitting right in front, bring the edge of your shoulder blades to the edge of the props. Take a hold of your head, lift your hips up, slide your shoulders and head to the other side of your bolster or blankets, and then let your hips relax down. Your shoulders are cleared and they're heading towards the mat. Again, knees are bent or legs are straight. If you feel any compression in your low back, bring your shoulder blades toward each other and lift your chest a little bit more. If you're still feeling lower back tightness or sensation, then please bend your knees. And then bring conscious awareness into your low back and let the muscles there relax. Allow breath to move and imprint itself into your low back. So when we feel pain and congestion, it's stuck energy, and we can use our mind and our breath and this mind-body connection to our tissues to help them to shift, to release, to transform old patterns. So once you've found your place of comfort and relaxation, allow yourself to let go even more in your body, and allow your mind to return back to your breath, back to your mantra. Relaxing your jaw, your tongue, and your throat. You could choose to omit a head support and open more in your throat, heading towards the top of your head, resting on your mat. Slowly make your way out of this pose. Bend one knee at a time. Place your feet on your mat. You're going to lead with your chest prominently. As you roll to your right side, push your blankets or bolster behind you so you can clear them and come all the way onto your resting on your arm. And slowly press yourself back up. And we're going to close in Shavasana, corpse pose, final relaxation pose, where all the healing happens, where we integrate everything that we've moved with in our practice. So you'll have a head and neck support. Your bolster or a rolled blanket can go under your knees for more low back support. Your second blanket you can put over your body just so that you're all cozy and warm. Just moving really slowly and mindfully to stay in this relaxation posture. And then coming into lying on your back and letting your arms and legs just release in all directions as you fill your mat up with your body and your presence. Feel the support of the floor underneath you, rising up to meet your back as you sink and melt deeper into the floor. Allow all your muscles and ligaments, tissues, bones, and organs grow heavier as they release toward the earth. Though your body is still, feel into the pulsation of your heartbeat. Feel into the pulsation of your breath as it flows in length and depth. There is a place I know where only I can go. 'cause no one else can go there for me. There is a place I know where only I can go. Allow your breaths to deepen, slowly bringing life back into your bones. Perhaps stretching your arms overhead and pointing your toes for a full body stretch. And taking your time as you make your way onto your side. One last time in fetal position, giving yourself the space and time to linger here. Then we'll all meet back up in a comfortable seated position, sitting on a blanket, legs crossed or stretched out. And then let's fold our hands together right at our heart center. Bow toward your heart in gratitude for this practice, for the gift it's been to your own nourishment, and how when we are all nourishing ourselves, we can better serve the world and those around us. Thank you for taking the time to fill up your own cup today. Love and blessings to you all. Namaste.